Greetings, gentlemen. Picture this. A world where the unspoken potential within men is not just an abstract concept, but a treasure chest waiting to be unlocked, a journey to be embarked upon. Now, what if I told you that this is not a mere flight of fancy, but a reality rooted in psychological research? Intrigued? Stay with me, and together we'll explore the staggering effect that goal setting can have on your life, especially if you're feeling a bit lost at sea. Imagine you're standing at a crossroad. Not just any crossroad, but one that determines your future. On one path, there's the life you know, comfort in its familiarity but stagnant and hollow. On the other, a path paved with the bricks of responsibility and purpose, leading to a life teeming with meaning. The choice seems obvious, but why are so many hesitating to take the step? Studies have shown that when given a framework, like the Future Authoring Program, something incredible happens, particularly among men who haven't quite found their footing in society. I'm talking about the guys who stumbled through high school, not necessarily because they couldn't do well, but because they lacked direction, a goal, a raison d'etre. The most astonishing part? Give these men a tool to define their future, and they grab onto it like a lifeline, showing more progress and motivation than they ever did before. Now, why is this phenomenon more pronounced in men? Well, let's dive into the human psyche. Turns out, women generally tend to be more agreeable. Presented with a structured path, they'll more likely follow it without much resistance. Men, on the other H&P, particularly those on the less agreeable side of the spectrum, will balk at being told what to do without a good reason. Tell them to dedicate years to education with no clear end goal? You might as well be talking to a wall. But something clicks when you ask men what they want. Once they articulate their desires, a switch flips. It's no longer about doing what they're told. It's about striving towards something they've chosen. Suddenly, there's skin in the game, and they're playing to win. And if you thought that was intriguing, consider this: over 90% of those tuning into certain online content are men. This is a realm where psychology undergraduates are predominantly women, yet the men are the ones seeking out digital wisdom. Why? It's the call of uncharted territories and the digital spacia call that resonates strongly with men. I've seen this firsthand. Speech after speech, the crowds I speak to are mostly testosterone-driven, hungry for something that's scarce in their lives: responsibility. Not the type that weighs you down, but the kind that anchors you in a turbulent sea. Responsibility is the rudder that steers the ship of life. Without it, you are adrift. As for conveying this message to the younger generation, particularly the fellows out there, let's be brutally honest. Traditional political stances don't resonate with them. What does, however, is the concept of responsibility. No one's peddling that these days, yet everyone yearns for it. Now, imagine Homer Simpsonese, the cartoon character, as an everyman. He's bumbling and far from perfect, but there's an honor in his attempts to provide for his family. That's his burden to carry, his load to pull. And whether he succeeds or fails, there's dignity in the effort. This, gentlemen, is life's great ballet, a dance with duty and purpose. As men, we're not wired to just exist. We need to strive, to build, to conquer challenges, to bear the load. If you feel like you're in the grips of aimlessness, just a drone in life's great hive, it's time to shake off the paralysis. Your journey begins with picking up the gauntlet of responsibility. And once you do, there's a transformation that happens, a visible spark in your eyes that tells the world you're more than just muscle and bone. You have a mission. And it doesn't end there. Understanding that within responsibility lies the very essence of existence, that's the climate change in the cultural landscape. It's no longer about demanding rights without acknowledging duties. We're reshaping the conversation to include what we owe to ourselves and to each other as human beings. So, I implore you, unsubscribe from the narrative of helplessness and embrace the nobility and responsibility. It's the antidote to the poison of nihilism, a cure for the soul troubled by meaninglessness. When we shoulder our burdens, we find the grit to respect ourselves. That's the light at the end of the tunnel, the flicker of purpose that turns into a blazing fire, guiding you through life's darkness. By taking up this mantle, you don't just improve your lot, no, you elevate those around you. Your stride becomes a march, and that march becomes a crusade, not of conquest, but of creation, a bold stride into a life rich with significance. So, gentlemen, as you ponder your next move, ask yourselves this: what load are you ready to lift today? And know this: by taking on that weight, by choosing your path, not only do you carve out your legacy, but you also become the architect of your own salvation. Remember, in subscribing to this path, you unlock a universe brimming with potential. By engaging with this content, you position yourself to gain insights that could very well redefine your existence. Before we part, I pose this final question to you. Which of these revelations will you incorporate into the tapestry of your life? Share your commitments, and let's forge a brotherhood of men who dare to seek purpose amidst the cacophony of everyday life. And if this message resonated with you, consider showing your appreciation. You can find a way to do so in the description below. Until next time, lift your load with pride, and let the path you carve be a testament to your resolve. Welcome, ambitious thinkers, to an insightful journey where we delve deep into how personal struggles reshape our focus away from broader issues like climate change. Think about it for a moment. Doesn't personal turmoil eclipse global concerns in your mind? Now that's an intriguing thought, isn't it? Let's unpack this perplexing web and decode why many of us remain indifferent to our planet's plea while busy battling our own demons. Imagine a pyramid. At its base lie our most rudimentary needs: air, rest, sustenance, hydration. These are the essentials without which we cease to exist, and above that tier, security holds its ground, including well-being, stable employment, and shelter. Ascend higher, and we crave human connection, love, the warmth of companionship, and finally, we reach the two peaks: esteem and self-actualization, signifying our quest for recognition, self-worth, and ultimately reaching the zenith of our potential. Climate change, concern for our planet's future, rests at this pyramid's pinnacle. It's a lofty goal, a beckoning of noble aspiration. Yet, how can we scale the heights of this pyramid if we're entrenched in survival mode? Think about it. With over 700 million people globally living on a meager $2 a day, can they afford the luxury of environmental anxiety? Education is lacking for 260 million children, and unemployment casts a dark shadow on future prospects. Hunger ensnares 30% of the population, while nearly a billion grapple with mental health issues. The crises are endless: homelessness, addictions, political unrest, family discord. Really, when we navigate through such storms, sparing a thought for our warming globe becomes a secondary or even a tertiary concern. So why would a top-tier concern like climate change ignite fervor in the hearts of those entrenched in the crucial battle for daily survival? It's only when the beast of climate change bares its teeth, lashing at our very doorstep, threatening our immediate needs, that we pause and consider action. Our worldviews often skew warm weather as a harbinger of affluence and comfort, negating the looming threats of a warming climate. Doubts seed easily, especially when predictions fall flat, and the chaos forewarned seems like a distant reverie. Furthermore, when climate change is ensnared in the web of political agendas, it undermines the sanctity of science, breeding skepticism and inaction in its wake. Regrettably, even those with the means often partake in token environmentalism, a pursuit to satiate their ego under the guise of activism. Only 9% of the recyclables find their rightful end, yet we indulge in this facade of caring, securing our conscience rather than our future. It's time to re-examine our motivations and love our planet, because it's our communal home, not a stepping stone for our self-esteem. Alright, gentlemen, amidst this narrative, one might wonder, what difference does one individual make? Substantial, I dare say. The answer lies within us. We can't muster the will to heal our Earth unless we ascend the pyramid, alleviating the plight that hampers our collective movement upwards. Now let's redefine our approach. Begin with hydration, proper nourishment, and adequate rest. Treat your body like the temple it is. Move up, nurture wholesome relationships, cultivate purpose, and invest in lifelong learning. Your enlightenment will cascade, inspiring change. The key lies within. Save yourself, the world will follow suit. Echoing Gandhi's timeless wisdom, be the change you wish to see in the world. For those seeking deeper understanding, auditory enlightenment is at your fingertips. Imagine immersing yourself in the profound insights of thinkers like Eckhart Tolle, all accessible through the power of audiobooks. In conclusion, remember, gentlemen, the transformation of the world begins with self-renewal. So, how will you pivot your journey towards the summit of that pyramid? What actions will you undertake to pave the way not only for personal growth but for a thriving, sustainable world? For those who found value in this discourse, feel free to express your appreciation. The world is ripe for the taking. It begins with you, evolves with us. Be wise, be strong, be the change. Now, before you take on the world, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe and ring that bell. You never know how far we can go together.